Greetings to another video. Today we're going to be doing something very exciting, and it's comparing a £50 saddle, which is this one, which is the Bontrager Ajna Comp, which I've used for years and I love, to a £220 for this saddle, which is the Specialised Power Pro mirror saddle, which is 3D printed. So the reason that I'm doing this is I have loved this saddle. Like I say, I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometers on it. I have got multiple of them, but they have worn out. Like, saddles don't last forever and they've discontinued it. So I was like in my search for a new saddle, and I was like, maybe I'll just get top of the range one and see if it's worth the extra money, because in fairness to Specialised, they have done a lot of research and development on women's specific saddles. They brought out their mirror saddle, it must be 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even longer. And I know so many women that have got on well with it. I had one, and that was like my second favourite behind that one. So let's compare both the saddles. So the Bontrager Ajna is a cutout saddle, and Trek said that this is for an aggressive posture 2 position, which is more of a road race position. And they say that the shape offers increased stability at the nose and better pressure distribution throughout. So as you can see in the video, the actual further back in the saddle, it's quite soft, whereas the nose of the saddle is quite firm, but it has got more of a channel cutout. Whereas the Specialised has 3D printing technology, and Specialised say that it conforms better to your anatomy, maximising comfort and performance. So the shape, they say, is extra wide and extra long central channel to relieve pressure and improve blood flow. And because it's 3D printing in liquid polymer, so that creates this like honeycomb structure, and they said that it's infinitely tunable. The actual back and the sides are quite firm, whereas obviously that central channel is really squishy and really moldable. So next week I'm riding 1,000 kilometers, and I was like, is this a bad idea, taking a brand new saddle to ride more than 1,000 kilometers? I know my bike fitter Phil Burt would be like, Katie, do not do it. But in the interest of YouTube journalism, of saddle finding how good it is, I'm probably going to do it. So let's get this set up now and go on my first ride. Also, one thing to note when you're changing your saddle, mark your current position of your saddle and also the level of it. So get your like iPhone or whatever phone you've got, and I just use the measure tool on it just to make sure that I know exactly what position it's in. In fact, look, where's my phone? Let me do that now. Take the case off the back though, so that's not affecting the level. Phil would be very happy with that because it's -3, which is, it should be between 0 and -3, so I'll set up my new one exactly the same. Right, shall we weigh them? Bontrager Ajna, 326 grams, so that's the £50 saddle. £220 saddle, 256 grams. Is that worth the money to you to save that weight? That's what they look like side by side. Am I gonna like this one? Look how much shorter it is. Got it level first time. I think I want it a little bit nose. Maybe I'll just do it. Maybe I'll go with it 0, and then I can always change it on the ride if I need to. Also, one little tip that I didn't mention, when you're measuring, make sure it's not leant against a wall because the angle will be different. So make sure it's actually like upright because it will affect the angle. So don't slap it against a wall. I've ridden about half an hour. The first 2 kilometers, I was like, I do not like this saddle, give me my old saddle back, but I need to stick with it because when I used my old saddle, when I first got that, I didn't like that for the first little bit of riding, so I'm just gonna stick with it. So I'm gonna just tilt the nose down a little bit more because it was at 0, I wanna get it to go to -3. So I'm gonna do a climb as well, see how that affects it. Also, when you're trying a new saddle, make sure you're using bibs that you've used for a long time. Don't use new bibs because it might be the bibs. I did bring this as well because I'm not faffing around with now like with a multi-tool. That 2 degrees tilt has made so much difference. Top of the climb. He was a bit close, wasn't he? It felt like a completely different saddle. So
just bear in mind, you might have an amazing saddle that's just in the wrong position, so you just need to tweak it a little bit. Although I'm still only ridden, 45 minutes? So I'm going to head back now and I'll catch up with you at home to give you my initial impressions of this very expensive saddle. Okay, downhill.
So my verdict on the £220 Specialised saddle, is it worth the money? Do you get the comfort for the pennies that you're spending? I say pennies, a lot of pounds. I will start off by saying though, that just because you're spending more money on a saddle doesn't necessarily mean and equate that that's going to give you more comfort. And if you have found your perfect saddle that costs £5 or £10, that's amazing if that works for you. And I think it's because saddles are so specific. So throwing a load of money at something doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to be better and is going to fit you better and work for you better. I will also add that saddles, again, you have to have them perfectly, not perfectly, there's like a window, it's like what Phil always says, there's a bike fit window. You've got to get your saddle in that best position for you for it to be comfortable. And you can have, and Phil Burt, bike fit that I mentioned earlier on, he always says that you can have the most perfect saddle for you, but if it's not set up right, so the fore and aft, saddle height, and also the tilt, if they're not working in perfect harmony, even the best saddle for you is not going to be comfortable. Right, now I've said all that, I think I'm going to take a bit of getting used to that saddle because I've used the other one for so many years. It did just feel really, I don't know, it just felt a little bit strange. And I think it's just going to take a little bit of adjusting, a little bit of tweaking here and there. And that's what I would say to you. If you are changing your saddle and you are trying to find a more comfortable saddle, you need to give it time. I don't think it's something that you just put on straight away and you're like, this is the perfect saddle, it's amazing. I do think it's going to take a little bit of tweaking. So that's what I'm going to do. And like I said earlier, I did that with the saddle that I've loved. I didn't like that necessarily at first. It took me some getting used to. So I'm going to bear with it, potentially take it with me next week. I mean, you can tell me, do you want me to go and ride with it 1,000 kilometres? Maybe I'll put the other one in my bag just in case, but then do I really want to be bike packing with 2 saddles? I don't know. Also to add though, I think sometimes with more expensive products, more money has gone into the product research and development as well as the materials that it's made out of, especially in cycling. Like we all know that if something's lighter, it's going to cost more money. So just bear that in mind as well. But I will keep you posted on how I got on with it. Let me know your favourite saddles and the saddles that you've got on with. I know it's not always going to work for everybody, but if I see one of the saddles keep coming up, maybe I'll test that one as well. So we can hopefully try and find a more generic one, but I don't know. Is that like the unicorn of saddles? Is there not a saddle? I don't think there is, but we can try. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go now, so I need to go and actually sort out the routes and stuff for next week because I've not even done that yet. So I hope you found this video helpful, useful, and I will see you all next video. Goodbye. Goodbye.